Hello everybody. Well, it was too hot to be in the kitchen today, so I thought we'd be outside in the meadow here. And we're going to do two dishes, salad summery dishes, using lots of raw foods or cooked foods, so there's no cooking today. And we're going to start with a favourite of mine from Spain, gazpacho. It's the Scottish tomato season and it's a cool, refreshing soup that's a real favourite in our house. So the first thing to remember is when you're using all salad ingredients, wash them, because you don't know who's handled them, whether there's any soil, so it's good to just give them a rinse in good cold water to start with before you start adding the ingredients. So I've got a selection here, all pre-washed, and we're going to add some of these. So we're going to add some of these lovely onions. Now the recipe says salad onions. These are, as you can see, bigger than salad onions, but they're absolutely delicious and they're quite mild and sweet. So we're going for that. And we're going for a fair amount of cucumber in this soup, which is absolutely delicious, and about 3 tomatoes. These are big tomatoes, so if you have smaller ones, you can use more. We're going to also add some basil, because we have some lovely basil here today. And that, I think, is all from that little goodie bowl there. So, have a bowl that you can use with a blitzer and a blender, or you can put it in a Magimix, but bear that in mind because you're going to have to do that. And we're going to prepare everything. So the basil you can just chop roughly because it's all going to be mixed up anyway. It's got a fantastic Mediterranean smell, so it is lovely. Alternatively, you can use parsley, you can use chives. They're also delicious. You don't need to worry about skinning the tomato. You can just chop it roughly again, and it's all going to be beautifully ground up when it's blitzed. So I'm not one for wasting bits of tomato. In it goes, dead easy. And if you have some that are a bit bashed or bruised or overripe, obviously not any bad bits, but if they're a little bit overripe, they're perfect for using in a soup like this. So nothing wasted. And don't do this at another time of the year when there's Dutch tomatoes, which are absolutely tasteless. Skip that. Just wait till you've got good ones. And to add a little bit more juice and volume, and possibly even maybe save a little bit of pennies, add some tomato juice or a tin of tomato pulp, and that gives it a lovely flavour, good colour, and gives you a little bit more volume of soup. So about a mugful is 250 mils. In it goes. Next we'll add our onions. Again, you can give them a bit of a slice, but they're going to get, and I've topped and tailed them, so there's no roots on there. So it'll help it when it comes to putting it in the Magimix or the blender. It's a lovely fresh oniony flavour. Now at this stage, if you like a little bit of heat, you can also add fresh chilies or a red pepper. Both work beautifully if you want to. In they go. Now we're going to also add some cucumber. This is where we're fractionally wasteful, because we take off the skin and we take out the seeds. Now we don't have to be too precious and get it all, but if we get most of it, that's fine. And we'll take out the seeds as well. Then we add some flavourings, and we have got an instant soup. What could be easier and more refreshing on a day like today? So these bits will go in the compost. Put them there for us now. And just take out a little bit of the seeds. As I say, not too precious, but just the bulk of it, like so. Now this is a beautiful summer soup that you can have in bowls, or you can have in glasses, and enjoy. And if you want to give it a little bit more of a kick as well, you can add some Lea and Perrins. That's another thing you can add, one of these Worcestershire sauce type condiments if you want to give it a kick like you would with a Bloody Mary. That's another thing you can do. And I think that's enough of the cucumber just now. So again, pop it in. And these, with a whisk of the blender, will all come together. Many years ago, I had a wee holiday in Spain, and every menu's got gazpacho. And I would have to confess, I think I had every gazpacho because I do love tomatoes. And it was interesting to see the different ways they served it. Some added a little bit of seafood as well. Now here we've got 2 tablespoons. Now there's your tablespoon, nice big spoon, of rapeseed oil. You can, of course, use olive oil. They would, but we're in Scotland and we're trying to stick with these Scottish ingredients. And the other thing we're going to add is a spoonful of, just a dessert spoon of vinegar, white wine or cider vinegar. And we're going to give that a good seasoning of salt and pepper, and we're going to blitz it. And it's as simple as that. So come back in a few minutes and you'll see it all happening. So we're back with our liquidized gazpacho. I've left it in the same bowl so you can see that this is exactly the quantity you get from the amount of ingredients we put in. Exactly that, and it's delicious. But it'll taste even better when it had a chance to chill in the fridge, because it's a little bit room temperature at the moment, and it is much better if it's refrigerated down a little bit, nice and chilled. So, pop some in the bowl here. I'll just introduce you to some lovely marjoram before it goes flying across the room, or the garden. It's on the move, but that's another nice ingredient you can add as well. So I would definitely have a generous bowlful, but if you're putting shots of chilli in it, you know, you might have a smaller amount. And it's nice with some creme fraiche on the top as well, as another alternative, but really delicious. So we need to give it a little bit of a dress up. So basil is an obvious one. And whatever you do, do it nice and finely. So this is the time when I'm going to use some of this onion because it's got a lovely purple skin. And just take a few little pieces and add it to the top as a little diced onion. But everything should be very delicate at this point. So nice, delicate garnish, like so. And also with the cucumber. So, again, nice and delicate. And you can do it in strips or in cubes, whatever you like, but just make sure it's nice and fine. Like so. And on the top of our gazpacho. And then you have a lovely summer dish for a summer's day. Now, another dish, another quick, easy dish for you to enjoy. And we'll carry on slicing this first of all because we're going to do not a salad niçoise, but a salad fife. So we're going to play around with a salad niçoise and do a lovely summer dish for a summer feast. Now, you know, those of you that follow will know that I try and avoid using imported ingredients if we can. So hence the salad fife. Talking of hot days, they say mad dogs and Englishmen, but I think you can add Scottish cooks to that. It's about 30 degrees here. So I've got some lovely romaine lettuce and some curly lettuce. I'm not going to chop them, I'm just going to tear them into the bowl and make a lovely base with these beautiful salad greens just from the local farm shop. In they go. A few more. And we're going to pop in some other things and make this an absolute meal. So a bed of lettuce, and then we'll go for the cucumber next. So again, if you halve it, I would suggest, then it's quite easy to just slice it, and it's not rolling around the place, which is a great help. So we'll slice half a cucumber, or a halved piece of a cucumber. And pop these in here. Again, grown locally at the farm shop. The rest of this beautiful, fresh red onion. Again, nice and finely. It's nice to have Nice easy things to bite so you can get a bit of everything on your fork. I must say that depending on what's available, none of my salads are ever the same 2 days in a row, so don't be afraid to mix things up. And again, sprinkle them in so you get a nice even distribution across everybody's plate, like so. And we'll take these lovely tomatoes here. Now this time I am going to take out that little middle bit where that little core is. Quite nice to get rid of that. And then I can cut it into wedges and it can sit neatly around the dish. Now the salad niçoise would classically have some new potatoes in it, as well as the ingredients we're adding here. It would have green beans and olives, and it would have tuna. So I've skipped the green beans just because there wasn't any in the farm shop today, and I'm obviously skipping the tuna. So what have I got in place? Well, I've got some actually Arctic char today. That's a freshwater fish, but it's hot smoked, but smoked mackerel would also be delicious. So you could add that as well. So we're going to add that. And another little Scottish ingredient, we're going to add some carrots, packed full of vitamins and also very colourful. So again, it's a root vegetable, so be sure you wash it before you start grating it because you're not cooking it, but it's really delicious and it gives a bit of texture, colour and more healthy ingredients. We're also going to add some croutons that I made, fried in butter, diced bread, fried in butter, which is also rather nice on the gazpacho as well. And it gives a bit of texture, gives a bit of carbs. So we're going to add some of them into our salad fife. Just made a little bit earlier. They'll keep for a couple of days. So, you know, you don't have to use them all at once. You can do a batch and they're rather lovely, like so. And what else am I going to add? I'm going to add a dressing. Oh, and my eggs. So these little guys, you might notice, are a little bit on the small size. That's because they're from a heritage hen. So they're actually smaller eggs. So they won't take 10 minutes to hard boil. They'll take about 5 or 6. And the smaller the eggs, the shorter time for hard boiling. And you might also notice that I've been a bit messy here. And that's because they're so fresh. When they're so very fresh, it's harder to peel them. So when we buy eggs generally, they're probably already a week old, whereas these ones are less than a day old. So hence why they're a little bit raggedy around the edges, but they will taste amazing. So I'm going to pop them on my salad as well. Definitely a classic to have the hard-boiled egg. Another thing you can add if you want is anchovies. They come in a tin, but again I've stuck with the local here. And here I've got the cooked fish. Now this cooked fish was left from a party when I did a whole cooked fish, and any leftovers I just took off the bone, popped in a bag, put it in the freezer. So nothing is wasted, and it's perfect for a salad at this time of year. It flakes beautifully, and I'm just going to pop the flakes on top of this dish here. It looks a little bit like a Scottish salmon, and that's because it does look a little bit like the Scottish salmon. It's a pink fleshed fish. It's very delicate and very delicious, and it just happened to be what I had. But as I said, I also use smoked mackerel for this, and it's delicious, and it's more environmentally friendly than opening a can of tuna. So there we are. And we need a dressing. So again, a salad niçoise may have olive oil. We've got a salad fife, so it's going to be lovely rapeseed oil. And this time it's from Summer Harvest in Perthshire. And I've added about 4 parts oil to 1 part wine vinegar. And in there also is a generous teaspoon of local honey and a spoonful of a lovely whole grain mustard. I like the Galloway Lodge mustard, it's very good. And we're going to add some salt and pepper. This salt is actually from Isle of Skye. Pop in a generous amount of salt and a generous amount of pepper. This is black pepper. I quite like my pepper. In it goes. And you can also do this in a jam jar and give it a good shake and keep it in the fridge for a week. It's absolutely fine. And pour over your lovely French dressing. You've made a lovely emulsion by giving them a good shake. That's important. And before I serve this, I always ask people, are you happy with me putting on the dressing? Because it is lovely to have it, the dressing absorbing it. But you know, some people, maybe they've got an allergy to mustard seeds or something, so it's worth asking the question so you haven't ruined the meal. So, 2 dishes today. Our Salade Fife and our lovely gazpacho, a summer tomato soup. And if you like our recipes, there are other recipes, 100 of them, in our new book. You can find it online on Scottish Food Guide. Just put in a search button Meadows on scottishfoodguide.scot and it'll come up with the farm shops it's available in, or buying it online direct from me. So hope you'll join us and read the book, and hope you enjoy these recipes. Happy summer.